That song basically says you're praying to Creator via song. You're saying, Creator, protect us. Mother Earth, protect us. And if you guys catch the song, if you guys need a song sometime, feel free to use it. Just give me a tobacco sometime. Hi, hi.
Oh, hi, Glenn. Yeah, Sin. Thank you for that song. And I know our uncles, they used to use that song in prayer and in ceremony as well. So they're with us too. So by singing that song, hi, Glenn. Yeah, Sin. But I just want to welcome each and every one. And I'm just letting you know right now that I'm recording this event just so we can have it for our records, and we'll provide copies to the graduates as well. So with that, I just want to welcome everybody. Owen at the back. Hi, Owen. He's that one way at the back at Rosa Johns. He's waving. See, that's a prospective expression student in the future. Hey, Beanie. Hey. So we have a welcoming address supposed to be delivered by Councillor Charlene Cardinal of Beaver Lake. But I don't see her on here right now. So Eva, I guess what we'll do is maybe we can hand off that responsibility to you, since you're our project manager, our head honcho. Eva John Gladue.
Thanks, Jamie. And thanks everyone that for joining us today. Today's, it seems time flies. It wasn't long ago that I was talking to those trainees as they were entering the program. But I'd like to begin with thanking Glenn for the opening prayer and the song. Especially during these challenging times with COVID and everything else, we're not closely connected to family anymore. So our traditions and values play an important role in everything that we do. So thank you, Glenn, for that. For those of you that don't know, Xpressions Arts and Design is about creating opportunities with artistic practices and cultural tourism through training and traditional Indigenous knowledge. The mandate of Xpressions is to ensure that the art of our Indigenous artists remain authentic with our beliefs as Treaty 6 Indigenous peoples. Our Xpressions program is delivered by our professionals, Jamie, John, and Amber Weaselhead, who do a wonderful job in coaching, mentoring, training in various art forms. And they give a lot to our trainees in terms of compassion, patience, and the list goes on. So hats off to Jamie and Amber for the wonderful job that they do behind the scenes. So, if we can just take a moment and just acknowledge these two wonderful individuals that help make this project the success that it is. So thank you so much for that. Thanks again, Amy and Amber. As well, Xpressions believes in giving back to the trainees. What we do is every year we invite one of our trainees, past graduates, to join us as a residence in artist in residence. And this year we have Linda, who's been a part of the program, joining, mentoring, and being there to support the artist wherever she can. So I'm not sure where Linda is. Oh, there you are, Linda. Thank you so much for all your help as well, and the wonderful pieces that you generate. I mean, makes us proud to know all of these artists that are in the room today. So thank you, Linda. The mentorship activities include outcomes that promote technical proficiency, proposal writing, workshops, marketing, promotion, quality control, and traditional knowledge. Jamie and Amber bring a true blend of everything that's needed for the artists to, to grow to be those individuals that make us proud that the products are not made in China. They're actually made by our people from our communities. And that's our role and mandate of this program, is to try to eliminate the products that are being duplicated from other countries, and together we can help stop that. And just the Xpressions program promotes solid foundation for success in all areas of life. I'd like to close off by saying to the graduates, using my grandmother's words of advice, Agame mo kayapu meg, keep trying, don't quit. Use these key messages as you move on from here to achieve your goals. And I can't stop without acknowledging some people behind the scenes that helped this project, get us to where we're at today. And that's our funders, Alberta Labor, Randy Basom and Dave Manchuk, truly believing in this project and supporting it year after year. So I'd like to acknowledge Alberta Labor for that. As well, our ISETS agreement holders from our communities, people such as Shirley Parody from Beaver Lake Cree Nation, Tammy Janvier, Cold Lake First Nation, Brian Horse from Frog Lake First Nation, Sandy Munoz from Heart Lake First Nation, Phaedra Cardinal from Kihiwan Cree Nation, and Rainey Hool from Whitefish Lake First Nation, as well as Garrett Steinauer and Darlene Belrose, who helped support the trainees with training allowance and internet, whatever's required. So I'd like to thank those individuals behind the scenes, as well as the parents of these artists. And I see parents here today and siblings, and I'm so proud of the support that you are giving these artists, because together we can make a difference. So with that, thank you so much, Jamie, for the opportunity.
Hi, Eva. Did we lose Glenn again? Oh,
No, I'm here.
All right. So Glenn, we're going to be having some guest speakers or keynote speaker, is it? Yeah, so we'll have a keynote address. So maybe you want to welcome Mackenzie Brown.
Sure. We have some guest speakers here with us today. I'd like to introduce, as I look over to my agenda here, are we going with Mackenzie Brown and Kayla Simpson?
Belrose.
Kayla Simpson Belrose, Indigenous Tourism Alberta. The floor is yours, Miss. Thank you. Tanua.
Glenn. Hello, everybody. How are you doing today?
I'm great today, thanks.
Good. I'm happy to hear. Kayla and I are really excited to be speaking to all of you today on this really important day on your graduation. So we just want to say congratulations to all of the Xpressions art graduates. Yeah, Rose is doing a little dance. Kayla and I are from an organization called Indigenous Tourism Alberta, and we talked to you guys already a little bit, but we were asked by Jamie and Amber to do a keynote today. And as Kayla and I were thinking and chatting, we actually wanted to talk a bit about ourselves as artists as well, and kind of like some advice from artist to artist, as well as a little bit of further information about ITA, but we didn't want it to feel like this corporate keynote, we wanted it to feel real. So I'll introduce myself. So Tansay no totamak kamama Mackenzie Brown nitzigason pagihtawa gans kahigan ochinia amiskwachiwas kahigan megawach kiwikin. Welcome, my name is Mackenzie. I work with Indigenous Tourism Alberta. I'm the project manager. I'm originally from Sturgeon Lake Cree Nation, but I've been making my home in Edmonton for the past 8 years. And then I'll pass it off to my colleague, Kayla Belrose, to introduce herself.
Hey, yeah, I'm a square of many names. um, Tanse nitsagaso and kitewaso ni mituaski miko square wapiska Ochinia. So my family ties are in Big Stone Cree Nation. That's where my Nookum's from, as well as Sawridge Cree Nation in Slave Lake. That's where my Mushum's from. So that's on my mom's side, Belrose. And then Simpson is actually my dad's side. He's Munio, Scottish and English. So I always acknowledge both sides of who I am. As you see, there's like two of me behind me. Yeah, so I'm a Treaty 8 baby born in Slave Lake. Moved away from Treaty 8 when I was pretty young to Edmonton area. So I grew up in Treaty 6. And then from there, I moved to Treaty 7 for post-secondary education and fine arts. And I've been in Treaty 7 territory for 7 years now. And I am the development coordinator at Indigenous Tourism Alberta. And I am also an artist and very excited to really just celebrate all of you and your accomplishments today. I think it's amazing. You know, artists are really helping heal our communities, and artists helping heal ourselves. And yeah, so my artist name is Bibi Esqueo, so baby woman, but I'll get to that in a bit. I'll give the mic back to Mackenzie. You go.
Thank you so much. So just a little bit of background about ITA. We are a not-for-profit and a membership-based organization. We work in terms of Indigenous tourism. So artisans are 100% a part of that. And really, like, we have our mission and our vision, which is to grow and promote authentic, sustainable, and culturally rich Indigenous tourism experiences in Alberta. And we're excited to chat with you because Kayla and I are both very passionate about seeing authentic Indigenous work in tour shops, seeing our people benefiting from that. Like, it's super important, that authenticity. But we want to talk a little bit about ourselves as artists first, and then we'll get into some ITA stuff. But Kayla and I were chatting this morning. We were like, what really is a keynote speech? What is that? And then we realized that every time we've ever heard a keynote speech, it's something about the person. The person comes in, they talk about themselves personally. And so we really wanted to bring in an aspect of that. So my Cree name and my artist name is Gamamak, which is the butterfly. And I'm an artist. I'm first and foremost a painter. I'm a beater. I love mixed media. And then I also do leather work as well. And I really got into art when I was young. I think I've been painting since I could pick up a paintbrush. When I started taking it seriously, though, was a different story. I was about 13, still in junior high when I started taking my art seriously. I love doing mixed media. So I do moccasins and stuff. I'm not the most prolific beater. I believe that there are amazing beaters out there, and I want those beaters to do what they're good at. And so what I really do is I like to take beading and incorporate it into other forms of art that I do to really complement it and to tell that story. A lot of times when people view my art, they see a mix between a contemporary world and then a traditional world, which is where I live, right? I say that I have a moccasin on one foot and a Nike shoe on the other. I live in these two very different worlds. I come from my nation. I can speak my language a little bit. I know my traditions, but I live in the city and I love Starbucks. I have these two very different worldviews. And so I try to incorporate that into my art as well. My favorite thing in the world is being able to mix things together. So actually to the right, there is a painting that I did on an iPad. So that's a painting that I did on an iPad, but then I got it printed, and then all of those little prickles on the cactus, those are porcupine quills. So I like to take these traditional mediums and really push them into a contemporary place. I've been really lucky on my artist journey. You know, I started taking art seriously when I was about 13. And then there was a transition that ended up happening where I started focusing my art on myself as a person and on my culture. And that's really when my art took off. I'm a drummer and a singer as well. That's another art medium that I hold really near and dear to my heart. But really where I get my influence from is from the land, completely from the land, actually. I paint a lot of animals because animals tell different stories, right? They all have a different meaning behind them. Everybody connects to one kind of an animal. And then I also like to paint about the land. I love mountains, as you can see in the background. It's a painting I did. I love mountains. I love just the land in general too. And yeah, so I think really once I started to figure out what was unique to me as a person and leaned into it, that's when my art really took off and it really changed. One of the highlights in my career so far is the photo on the left. That's my mom. That's not my sister. Everybody asks if she's my sister, but you know, Native women don't age. So that's my mom. And last year we got to go to Africa, the Cote d'Ivoire, to Africa's largest performing arts festival. And we were brought there by the government of Canada to represent Indigenous art. And so that's kind of been a really big highlight of my career, was getting to that kind of a place. And since then, I've been lucky to have my art in several different galleries across Alberta and internationally, and brought to New York last year as well. So it's been a really good journey. But a story that I want to tell you guys all about, it's like a very unique story. It happened last year. I had, you know, sometimes I just scroll through Facebook and then you like apply for different things, which I highly recommend. I highly recommend just scrolling through Facebook, applying for everything. And so I applied for this one thing. I didn't really know what it was. I thought it was a contest. And then I got a call back from this media company in Toronto. And they said, hey, you applied for our show with CBC, Landscape Artist of the Year Canada. We would like to interview you. I thought, oh, okay, sure. I'll give it a go. So I interviewed for this show, and they called me back and they were like, yeah, you were one of the 18 artists chosen across Canada. We're going to fly you to Toronto and you're going to compete in this Landscape Artist of the Year Canada show. I was like, okay, like what's the deal with this show? And she said, well, you know, we fly you in, we're going to take you to an undisclosed place. You're not going to know where you're going. And then you guys are going to get out and you're going to have 4 hours to paint what you see. And then you're going to be judged. And then if you make it like to the next stages, it's a competition show. It's like the Great Canadian Baking Show, but for artists, like landscape artists. And I thought, oh, well, that sounds really hard. I don't think I've ever painted something in 4 hours, let alone a landscape. And so I was quite wary about it. You know, this happened like last year. So I was like, you know what, well, before, you know, I'll say yes, and then I'm going to practice. And so I was sitting and thinking, okay, we're going to be in Toronto and I've never painted a lake before. And that is probably what's going to be the landscapes around that area, right? It's going to be lakes, it's going to be trees. I'm a mountain person, right? And prior to this, I had only ever painted 2 mountainscapes. I just sent those in, they liked them. So I was thinking, oh no, I don't know about this. So every night leading up to the competition for about 2 months, I sat down and I practiced speed painting in 2-hour sprints. And so I would get my partner to send me a photo of a landscape, and I'd have 2 hours to paint it. Because I was thinking, okay, if I can get a good baseline down in 2 hours, then I have 2 hours to add beads to detail. I think that that'll be good. And so this was the first painting I ended up painting. And I remember painting it. I remember sitting down and thinking, I'm going to make a mess of myself on national television. And I was so nervous. I was thinking, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I just looked at this painting and I thought, what is this painting? I don't know what I'm doing. So then the next day, I think I got 20 minutes into this. And then I threw my paintbrushes and I told my partner, I said, I don't even think I'm an artist. I don't think I can do this. I think I have to quit the show. And my partner sat me down and he said, no, you don't have to quit the show. He said, this is something new that's new for you. You know, the last 10 years, you've been painting what you like to paint, because why would I paint something I didn't like to paint, right? You've put yourself into a box, is what he told me. He said, and that's fine because you're really good at what you do. But it's important as an artist to also push yourself outside of that box. And so he said to me, what makes your art special? What is unique to you? What are the things and the styles that you do? Maybe instead of looking at this whole picture, hone in on like an individual aspect of it and remember why you paint. So I took that to heart. This was the next painting that I did. And so I was like, okay, still not quite there, but I felt like I was slowly getting it. And then one night I painted this. And this was the first time where I sat back. This is about 2 hours into the painting. So I was going to do some beading on the edge and like really build it out. But this was the first time that I sat back and I thought, I think something's clicked for me. I think I can do this. And then I tried like a prairie. So again, this is about 2 hours in, but I was starting to see my visions coming to life. You know, I was starting to see things being put together. And then we had the show. And so I'm really proud to say that I won my episode. I was the only Indigenous artist. I was the only Albertan artist. And I made it to the top 3 in the finale. So that was really fantastic. And this was the painting that I painted in 4 hours. This is the painting. I was sat in my booth, and there was this beautiful tree. And I remember looking at that tree and thinking, wow, what kind of stories has this tree seen? You know, this tree's probably about 100 years. Like how has this tree seen the landscape change and people change? And so this was my spirit tree. And you can see I put in some chrysosyllabics. I wanted to really make this tree the focal point of the painting. Yeah, and you know what? Since then, like my art style has really changed. I still paint animals. I love animals, but I started painting landscapes, and then I started incorporating beading into it. So you can see the Northern Lights. There's beads in there, and you know, so it's been good. And these are kind of the tips that I want to leave you all with is, one, don't be afraid to fail. I think as artists, you know, we find our style and we're like, yeah, this is really great, but we forget the journey sometimes that it's taken us to get to that style, because then we get so excited about that particular thing that we're really good at. But you've gotten there. So just imagine when you continue to push yourself as an artist, how much further you're going to get, right? So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to step outside of that box, and to push yourself outside of your style. And then really think about, you know, what is unique and special to you. Everything that you end up doing is your own story. We do art for a certain reason. And when you lean into that, when you lean into, okay, what makes me a special person, that's when your art will change. And I also tell people enjoy your art when they see how much you've enjoyed making that piece. You can feel that love in a piece, right? If you've had a good time creating it, people can feel that. And so really lean into that too. And then another thing is make it legit. I say this because a lot of artists will say, oh yeah, I do art on the side. Well, I wouldn't really call myself an artist. No, call yourself an artist. Take that label, hold that label. Don't define yourself as an artist based on somebody else's definition. You know, I had a lot of people, like when I went onto the show, people said, oh yeah, you're like the only amateur artist on the show. I was like, I'm not an amateur artist. I was like, I do art. Like what makes me an amateur? Because I don't do it full time? No. You know, Western society has this funny way of labeling people. And you don't have to fit into those labels. You're an artist through and through. Make yourself legit, you know, get yourself that website, present yourself as I am an artist, and people will see you that way. People will take you seriously. People will fall in love with your art the way that you fall in love with your art too. And then my last tip is don't be afraid to be silly. This is actually a photo of me on live television. You can watch it on CBC Gem. So I literally made that face on live television because that's who I am as a person. That's what makes me special. I like to laugh. I like to have a good time. You can see my friends had a great time watching me as well. So those are my pieces of advice. I thank you so much for listening to me. I'm going to pass it to Kayla because Kayla is going to talk about her art now. So thank you so much.
All right. That was awesome. I need to get on doing a website too. I need to be legit. But yeah, my art has really been my place of healing. So I really am inspired by the women in my life, the matriarchs in my life, especially my Nookum. So my floral design that you see in these pictures was inspired from her beadwork, which was inspired by her mom's beadwork. So it kind of goes like that lineage, those designs are like passed on. And so within this contemporary world, I've kind of brought those designs into my photography, into my illustration, into my paintings. So I'm a multimedia artist. I work in a lot of mediums. I do beadwork, photography, murals, and also, yeah, just lots of stuff like that. But I'm very inspired by my family and the women in my family, and just, yeah, that sense of healing within my art. So this was a more recent one that I did. So a lot of my art has like 7 flowers for the 7 generations teaching. So, you know, like learning from the 7 generations before us so that we can, you know, create a better future for the 7 generations after us. That's what I'm inspired by. And then we'll flip it. So again, this one was one that I did while I was in school. I was doing fine arts and taking an oil painting course. And I really like to layer on a lot of paint. This one's called My Heart, Mite. And it was during a time where I was pretty low in my like life, going through grief and like family loss. And this was a way for me to express myself and to heal and to really honor that process. And so, yeah, this one is supposed to be like my heart and the resilience of us as, you know, like for me, myself and my family, like I really see the resilience of, you know, so much loss, but still having such a resilient heart and still having so much heart in everything that we do as people, and even my family itself. Like, yes, it feels like I have a bleeding heart, but it's still beating strong. And so that's what this painting was about, kind of that contrast with like a really scary background, which is what it feels like living in this society sometimes. Yeah. So a lot of my art journey has actually been learning alongside youth. So that's something my mom really pushed me into, really working with people when I do art. So as soon as I went to ACAD, Alberta College of Art and Design, it's now called AU Arts. my mom right away was like, "Okay, you need to do art workshops with my classes," because she has her own business and she works with a lot of young people in communities across Alberta. And so I started doing art workshops and I fell in love with that. And then I started doing murals with youth, Indigenous youth. So the first one was in Whitefish, Atikamekw in Treaty 8, the whitefish. And then the moose, that one was in Drift Pile. So you can even see the kids' handprints like all throughout it. And then the last one was in Loon River. So these were all done with youth and like putting their ideas together. And I'm just really inspired by the younger generations. I think, you know, us as artists, like we're breaking ground and they're really inspired by that. The young people are very inspired by that. So it's good to just share that journey with them, because it is our healing and it's a beautiful story to share visually. And we've been doing it for generations. So it's amazing to see how we've evolved. And you can just go to the next one. Mackenzie's my, and then this was the last mural I did with Calgary John Howard Society in Calgary, again with an Indigenous youth group. Yeah, so it was like, you know, urban city youth that are, you know, within the system itself and healing and moving forward. So it was good to do this painting with them, which was inspired by the teachings of Ruby Eaglechild from the Bloods. And she shared the 7 sacred teachings. And so we incorporated all that within these paintings. So the first one is kind of about future generations, the babies, the young generations. And then the last one's about like the ancestors. And so like, you know, grandmother, and then incorporating all the animals from the teachings. So beaver, wolf, Bigfoot, eagle, buffalo, turtle, and bear. And so, yeah, it was a really beautiful process with the youth, like bringing those teachings to life in a painting. And so I'm really grateful to those youth, shout out to them for all their beautiful work, but they really helped design these paintings, which are now in the space at Calgary John Howard that they get to meet in every week. So they get to see this every week and be reminded of those teachings, which is really powerful to me. And then kind of like the city background and the water background was kind of like the contrast of living in this colonial society, but still holding on to our teachings. And then this one, I do a lot of mixed media art. So this is my sister, Alana Bluebird, who's also an artist. I wanted to honor her journey into motherhood. So I illustrate on top of my photography. So I like to do a lot of photography and illustrate on top of that and really just share a story of like the power of matriarchs and women restoring that balance within our societies and our communities. So Alana's like a big matriarch in my life. She inspires me every day. She's a spoken word artist. And the red willows on the one on the left, it was inspired because she always picked red willows with her Isu, her grandmother. She's Sutina and Blackfoot. So those red willows, like I wanted to capture that her grandmothers are around her. Her grandmothers are taking care of her when she was journeying into motherhood. And then the one in the middle is like the flower design that I use in like a lot of my work. And my sis, she's like very urban, right? She dresses like herself, and that's how she's a tomboy. And like we wanted to really make it like matriarchal, but then also at the same time, like it's still, she's living in this urban world too. So it's a cool contrast. And then the last one is called Sacred Creation. And then tiger lilies are her favorite flower, as well as pansies. So I just wanted to like really welcome her with love into her sacred creation and what she was, you know, going through as a mother. And now her baby's almost 1 this month, and it's super exciting. Her name's Lindy. So yeah, I really like, a lot of my work is honoring the women around me and bringing that passion forward. And we'll just go to the next one. So Alana actually wrote a book, and I illustrated it this year. It's called The Light Within. It'll come out soon. We're still in like the publication process, but these are just a few pages I wanted to share with you. So my background there of the wings, so kind of like women going into our metamorphosis and that balance of like light and dark, night and day, sun and moon, that balance. As well as then that's actually my sister Sierra at the top. I live with her, and you know, that was her painting one day and I turned it into like this illustration. So just kind of like that practice that, you know, when we are creative, it's really a creative heart, because you can see her, like the florals growing out of her heart. And it's like we have that heart connection when we create things. And I think it's really important as artists is to keep making work that speaks to your heart and is an expression of your heart and spirit. And I think when you do that, nothing, like the journey will be amazing for you. Like you'll just keep growing as a person. Yeah, so that'll be a children's book. And this was another page from that children's book that I illustrated. And I submitted this illustration to Vancouver Mural Festival this last year, and it got accepted. And I was really like shocked because I never been in a mural festival. And so it was an AR piece, it got animated. And so, oh, there's the, oh, Mackenzie's gonna go get it. But that one was called I Am Courage. And so it's really about, again, Indigenous mothers who are living in these like colonial cities and environments, and they're still protecting their young. They have the courage to, you know, really protect their young and revitalize their culture, revitalize their language. And so I was really inspired by Alana, my sis, and I wanted to share that. And so it actually was in Vancouver for like 2 weeks. Yeah, I don't think I have a video. Or if you go up, oh, there's the video. If you press the VMF. Yeah, so it was animated. This is my Instagram, but this is what it looked like. So it was like a augmented reality. So you put up your phone to the little like barcode thing, and then it takes you into this like virtual reality on your phone. And so this was downtown Vancouver for a few weeks, and yeah, it was just really cool to see like art made like that. I had help with an animator on the team there. But yeah, just seeing, you know, Indigenous art in the city like that was just, and then seeing my own art in the city like that was just surreal. It was a very surreal experience. So again, like Mackenzie said, scroll Facebook, apply for things, because that was honestly someone's Facebook status looking for Indigenous artists. And I messaged them, and then it turned into that opportunity. So it was really amazing to be a part of that. And I grew a lot, and just meeting the arts community in Vancouver as well. Yeah, so we'll just wrap it up with matriarch energy. This was the last illustration I did this last weekend, actually, with Nikita. She's a really powerful, like, you know, she's actually an environmental scientist, and she's Cree, and she lives in Treaty 7 here. And so I'm just really inspired by all these like powerhouse women, and I really want to like amplify their voices through my art. So that's my passion, and that's what I like to do. And stay tuned. I'm also like working on a big beading project right now. I got a grant with Calgary Arts Development last year, so it's my grant project. It'll probably take another year to bead, but it's really big, and I'm really excited because I know a lot of you do beadwork. And so yeah, I'm excited for all of you and your journeys, and to adventure out and, you know, really push yourselves to be creative, and like Mackenzie said, like get out of the box of what you think your art should be, and just really let go of expectations, let go of those attachments, because when you just let things flow, it really, you create something that you never would have expected. Like where I'm at now, I never would have expected like 4 years ago. I never would have thought that I was doing even this kind of like photography, for example. I never would have thought I would get into that, but it just was a medium that spoke to me and spoke to my story and what I wanted to share with people. And yeah, so just keep exploring all the mediums. I always say I create art based off my mood. So like if it's painting or beadwork, I'm like all over the place. So yeah, but thank you so much for listening. And we have a few more slides. I think Mackenzie's gonna, oh yeah, I was just going to share a little bit about tours in Alberta. So a lot of people come to this province and they want authentic art, right? They want to take home beadwork. They want to take home moccasins. They want to take home things that are meaningful to them and that share a story, and is authentically made by an Indigenous person. So just in Alberta, there's, you know, just in 2016, there was 34.8 million people who visited the province. A lot of those were like domestic travel. And then for Indigenous tourism, you know, there's over 3,000 jobs now. There's over 160 tourism businesses. So it's a growing industry, and artisans are, you know, a big foundation within the tourism. So you see Jason Carter up here. He has his own gallery in Canmore, right? Yeah, so his art is amazing, right? And so that's the vision. It's time for us to really share our story, and that's what visitors, when they come to our lands, that's what they want to take home with them. So it's really lots of opportunity.
Kayla. Yeah, and I know that we had chatted with you all before, and so I really encourage you guys to sign up, like, for our membership if you want to, because again, the demand for Indigenous experiences, we have a lot of artisans that teach mitten making, moccasin making, beadwork, all of these different things, and they're doing amazing work right now. You know, like, I really recommend, if you guys want to get into that side of things. A lot of people use tourism as a revenue source to help them with their art, and that's something that you guys can absolutely do. And I think, yeah, I'll pass this back to Kayla, but we really wanted to just kind of like leave you guys with a little bit of a legacy.
So huge legacy within Indigenous tourism, and an artisan in the community is Amy Willier from Sucker Creek, Treaty 8. And Amy passed away this last January, but she was a big part of ITA, and, you know, she's left a legacy for us artists to uphold. And this was a piece that Mackenzie and I collaborated on in honor of Amy and her amazing work. She opened Moonstone Creations in Calgary, her own store, co-founded with her mom Yvonne. And, you know, I just went there yesterday to buy beads. Like, I still go there and support, and the amount of artists that she supported in her store is incredible. She's a legacy to uphold with the amount of community she created and the amount of support she had for other artists, and really like helping, you know, bring people's art to the next level, and like sharing their beadwork in her store, and just so much. And she was also, you know, a medicine knowledge holder. And so even I went to her for my last beadwork project, the project I'm working on now, and she handpicked all my beads like 2 weeks before she passed. And she just left such a legacy. And I think, you know, for us artists, living up to that is just to support one another, help one another, you know, because when we help one another, we all thrive. And it's just such a big community out there. So I really just want to say that is support one another as artists, and we'll all make it. Hi.
That's great. That's great, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you for that, the inspiration that you have provided here, not only to the recipients, the people that took that were involved in a project this year. I'm sure that you know, with looking at your work and the both of you, that you know, I'm sure that you're going to inspire more than one person, not only in our group, but for all other people that have a look at your great work. Thank you for that. You did mention a few of the gifts, the 7 gifts there. May I get your names and numbers from Eva and them, and I'd like to have a chat with you in regards to the 7 gifts and whatnot. Thank you very much for your presentation, ladies. We will move on here. I believe our next speaker was supposed to have been Kelsey Jacko. He was board member from Cold Lake First Nations, but I believe they're into an emergency band meeting over there. So I guess we shall go on to our next guest speaker, if he is available. Mr. Dave Manchuk from Alberta Labor. Hi. Hello. Oh, no.
Glenn, I don't see Dave on, in the meeting.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So I'm not sure what happened. They
Right,
did
right.
confirm.
Yeah. What's Jamie was just texting me. He probably texted Jamie or whatever and said he's into an emergency band meeting in Cold Lake. Or something like that.
No, I'm talking about Dave Manchuk.
Oh, I see. I see.
He did confirm, so I'm not sure what happened.
All right. So shall we move on with the honorees at the moment?
Hello, Glenn.
Yes, Jamie.
Jamie here. What we'll do is we'll move on to the virtual gallery sharing. So we'll get into that, and then we'll go on to the honor song after that and recognition of the graduates. So, but with that, I would like to say, hi, Tami Hin, Squawak, the girls in your inspiration work. It's very empowering to see that young people, standing up and doing what they believe in, what you guys believe in, and being an inspiration for all of the younger generations and all of us older generations, myself included. I'm not that old though, but it's truly awesome to see, because a lot of our work, and the elders, they talk about it and they say that we all, and in the artist community, there's a collective consciousness they talk about, and I'm sure you guys heard that. And one artist can be creating one piece, 1,000 miles away, and that same artist is going to be creating something similar to that. And it's not about idea stealing, it's you're taking from that power that the creator has bestowed to that babysitter of the universe, they call it. And it's like when you get into the zone, they talk about that. You're getting into the zone, and you're tapping into that creative Indianuity, as I call it. So thank you for your true inspiration, your good words, and continue and ladies, and we'll look forward to working with you in the future, as well as our artists. So, but with that, I want to introduce Ms. Amber Weaselhead here, and she worked hard and diligent, and oh man, burnt how many candles at both ends to get this virtual showcase started and on the road. So Amber?
Yeah, so congratulations. Congratulations, artists. So what I'm gonna do is we're just gonna do a really, a quick run through of our virtual art show. I will share the link on our Facebook group, Facebook page. We're just gonna kind of skim through the different spaces that we've created, because this virtual art show is more for you to explore on your own time, to look at each piece. So we'll just kind of do a general, I guess, what do you call it? Just a general tour.
Yeah.
So Xpressions Art and Design 2021 graduates, our stories through our arts. So the artists that we're featuring is Linda McDonald, Christy DeChampo, Joni Anderson, Beanie John, Sean Adele Izzard, Young Chief, Lynette Weskahat, and Leonette Weskahat. So when you navigate through here, you're going to see some of the arts that we created throughout the year. We go through a whole different, we go through from harvesting to birch art to tanning hides to all the different art forms. This year was a little bit interesting, just because we were all online. Sometimes we couldn't really gather as much as we liked. So it was very interesting to do. We did a lot of more reflections pieces. So I just want to kind of just do a few. What you do is you go onto here, and it will show you exactly what, what the piece is about, who made it. Oh, sorry. There we go. And then you go around to, and what we have is all the different artists on that have their own walls.
Yeah. So the first one was based on language and the utilization of birch bark. So with that, we all had the artists research a word that meant something, you know, from their points of origins, from their family. You know, some of them, they had Musqua, some of them Kihiu. And we talked about, we added a lot of, I guess, indigenous concepts, you know, from who we are as indigenous artists and indigenous peoples. A lot of us have grandparents still, some of us, you know, uncles, aunties, but I had them reach out to them, and some of them had, you know, their Melvin and Rosa, you know, their knowledge as well, and they reached out and created a lot of piece inspired upon the language. So here's our artist in residence, Linda McDonald. And we'll just click into her bio real quick.
Yeah, and what happens is when you click into their bio, you'll go to like the info and it will take you to, you can click on there and it'll take you to her website. So if you want to get a hold of her or to show some of her work, yeah, well, I'm too scared I might lose the whole thing. Just shaky here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll just go for a quick tour.
Quick
around.
spin.
Yeah.
So of course, with this art show, we had to be very selective on, you know, because the walls are only so big, and we had to try and they have all kinds of works that they've created throughout the year. And then of course, Linda, throughout her couple of years with us, she just has this huge amount, massive amount of work. So that part was harvesting birch bark. Oh man, it was nice out there. But the mosquitoes, I tell you. Oh. So we'll get into some of the high canning a little bit here. So this, of course, being a labor of love, as my brother Brian Bird would say. Melvin knows about this, Beanie knows about this. We can tell Glenn can speak to this too. The old ladies used to do this, you know, for their camp, for their families. There was a part about it, he was telling me that they used to, you know, have their own medicines and they would create hides. And of course they had to make, you know, the animal provided the shelter, the clothing, all of our necessities. So that worked.
A lot of times we get them to document their process. That's really important to document for your, you know, sometimes you forget how you make stuff. And then just for, I like to see, sometimes we like to see that process pictures more than we like to see the actual piece. So these are just some of the different art forms that we did all year. And then we'll get into some of the artists.
first spark. Lynette Waskahat.
No, I'm not sure.
So just a quick run through some of the works, some of the drawings, some of the process. Beanie John.
So if you click on this, you can actually links to a video of her dancing. So I'm just scared I might lose the whole thing.
Just a quick run through anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, you can all log on to it and have a, closer, deeper look at it. So any of you little teeny tiny dog owners out there,
Yay, Rosie! Yay, Rosie!
that dog's name is Rosie. Sean Adele.
So we're gonna end off with a little video.
She's all of our puppy dog pal, buddy.
Awesome. Good job, Amber.
That's great.
Thank you for that awesome virtual showcase. And of course, this will be made available and online for your viewing pleasure and enjoyment and appreciation of our graduates of the 2021 Expressions Art and Design program. Good job, guys. Glenn?
Thanks, Jamie. Jamie, is that available through, like, is that through Facebook, or, because some of us aren't on Facebook, so how do we get that?
It'll be available on Google Play and the Apple Store. John, just kidding.
We'll send emails to people if they need it. The
Yeah,
link.
we'll send links through each and every one of the artists, as well as the speakers, and maybe we'll make it available too on the Tribal Chiefs website. Hey, Eva? Yeah, we'll do a link, and I know we have a Facebook page, so Eva?
I just sent you a message saying, let's link it to the web page.
Cool, right on.
That's great. That way people will know where to go find it. Have a look at that.
And I mean, this year with everything being online and because of COVID, right? There was some pluses that came out of it, and all of the artists are more tech savvier than they were 10 months ago. So, which is great. And I know we're moving to online and delivering programs and services virtually. So, and this is where we wanted to steer the graduates, is to having a greater online presence. So they formulated and built websites, e-cards, their Facebook profiles. They're all detached from their personal lives and created strictly professional. So I hope each and every one of them, you know, created and developed that, and we'll take it that much more seriously, because that's where we're moving to, virtually and online, and you reach a greater audience as well. So
That's great. Hey, Jamie, I noticed that on my iPhone here, I don't know if it's doing that on the laptops too, but you keep disappearing as you move. Is that like
it's because I'm a shapeshifter, you know, a shaman type.
see, there you go again.
No, it's just a virtual background. It's kind of like a virtual green screen behind us, so I can move this way, or else, you know, come out of the TV.
Yeah.
Not out of the closet. So,
That's great. That's great.
We're gonna be
So we're at that stage, I guess. We just went through the virtual presentation.
yeah.
We're going to the recognition of the trainees, and we just recognize them via I think we had a look at their work already, some of their work. So how are we going to move on that there, Jamie? Do you want me to just say their names for the meantime?
Right now, what we'll do is we have Counselor Gray Eagle Cardinal joining us, so maybe he wants to give some words of encouragement, and I know he does want to sing a song at the same time. And what we'll do is we'll probably share screen again, and when we call up their names, we'll view their bios and their profiles.
Okay.
While Gray Eagle is speaking to us. So Gray
Hey, you
Eagle,
can get him
there?
to do that honor song, Jamie. Can you
Yeah.
get him to do the honor song?
Yes, he is. Yeah.
Oh, great. That's great. So are we calling him in now, or how we?
Yeah, he should be logged on right away here. Gray Eagle, are you there? There he is. You got to unmute your mic. Unmute your mic, Gray.
Hello.
Oh, so we'll get you to introduce
Hey.
yourself and what your role is.
Hey guys, good morning everybody. My name is Gray Eagle Cardinal,
Singing.
Kihiwan, Alberta council member, and I was invited here today by Jamie to share some words and sing a couple songs. So are we good to go? Just go right into it? Hi
Yes.
guys. All right, so first off, I want to start by congratulating all the graduates, and you know, I know you're going to do great things. You're going to run into some hurdles, but it's all right. We got this here. We got our smudges. We got our culture. We got generations and generations of ancestors behind us, walking with us. We don't know it. We don't ever see it, but they're always there to help us through anything, And which is why I believe in this way. This is the way that I live, the way of the drum, our culture, language. I'm working on a language right now, up Sispula, but it's something that we got to take back, and we got to use our our think indigenous, right? We got to try and claim our language back. But the songs I'm going to be singing this morning are one of them is a morning song. I don't know if you guys knew who my dad was, but he passed a couple years ago. His name was Eugene Cardinal, and Jamie knows who he is. He was a really close friend of the family growing up. And every morning, you probably know, he'd wake up with a song. We'd all be sleeping. We'd hear him singing early when the sun's coming up, 6 in the morning. He'd be singing this song every single morning. And he says it's good to wake up with a song, with prayer, with smudge, to help you in your day, help you in your journeys. If you're feeling down, pick up that drum, grab some smudge. But that's what I want to encourage all of you to do. If you're ever having struggles, you're having a hard time, grab your drum. Even if you don't know how to sing, if you have a drum, just hit it. That helps you out. That carries your prayers. My dad lived by this way of life, and so do I. And that's our culture. That's who we are. We're not just the ceremonies we do. They're not just singing and dancing. It's everything. It's our whole way of life. So here we go. I'll start off with the morning song. When the sky fell upon kamuan Pemeo kwan kita sino Ayo 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 when the sky fell upon kamuan Pemeo na kwan kita sino Ayo 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 when the sky fell upon kamuan Pemeo na kwan kita sino Ayo 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 Woo.
Thank you, Greg.
Hi guys. That way. You are very welcome. So, second song. Hi everybody. So there's one more song that I would like to sing, and this one is a a healing song. And it came to my dad in a dream. Oh my God, 1990, I think, around there, 89, 90, 88. But in his dream, there was the clouds had kind of opened up, and there's a big circle. And in the circle, there was no clouds. There was a clear blue sky. But there was a perfect circle. And there was a song coming from up there. And in the song, I guess it's our ancestors is how we took it. The ancestors were up there singing, giving him a song to sing, to share with the people, with us. And it's meant, he called it a healing song, kind of our family song, but it's a healing song for all. Whoever, anybody who knows it, you could sing it. If you learn it, you could use it whenever you're feeling down. But here we go. I'll start off with that one.
Gray Eagle, while you're singing, we're gonna call out the artists. We'll recognize them while you're singing, okay?
Aho, sounds good. Yeah.
From the Beaver Lake Cree Nation, you want me to do this, Jamie?
Yes, go ahead.
Sure, from Beaver Lake Cree Nation, we would like to recognize, acknowledge, and congratulate Christy DeChambeau. And also Joni Anderson. Great work, ladies. Congratulations. From Frog Lake First Nations, we have Leonette Waskahat. And Lynette Waskahat. Great work, ladies. From Kihiwan Cree Nation, we have Shawnadel Izzard, Young Chief. Great work there, Shawnadel. Love your spirit, Bear. Also from Kihiwan, we have Crystal Beanie John. Good work, Beanie. I believe this is our artist in residence, Linda McDonald, Onion Lake, Frog Lake. Congratulations, Xpressions 2021 artists Linda McDonald, Christy DeChambeau, Joni Anderson, Beanie Kihiwan, Shawnadel Izzard, Young Chief, Leonette Waskahat, and Lynette Waskahat. Congratulations, everybody. Thank you very much, Gray.
Thank you, guys.
Great singing, great singing.
Tagaginta, Juan Gray.
Hi, Tapwe. Wow, nice. Come on, Gakio. Have a great day, guys.
Thanks a lot, Gray.
Yep.
Where are we at in regards to
participant testimonials?
My agenda won't go down on me here. Hang on.
Testimonials.
All right, Glenn, we're at the participant testimonials and we have Crystal Beanie John.
All right, Crystal, floor is yours. Mic's yours. Virtually, it's yours.
Hello, everyone. Dance, hello. My name is Beanie John. I'm from Kihiwan Cree Nation. I'm Plains Cree and Taino. I'm a hoop dancer, beater, and I'm pretty much everything. I just wanted to say thank you to Jamie and Amber for allowing me to be in this program with you. I was a little nervous and hesitant at first, but you definitely inspired me and allowed me to grow my arts into a business, and really showed me the structures of how to really make that happen and to really be charged exactly how you work, all the way from the materials to the thread, to the beads, to the hours and tireless hours that you put into your beadwork. I just wanted to say thank you to all the other participants. It was so great working with you, and the feedback from you was awesome. Also, Shawnadel, on our short little trips there and back from Edmonton, it was nice having that time with you, especially during COVID. And we tried to make it work at the very beginning, with meeting in person with our masks, but as it went through, it got a lot harder to do that. So having it online, it really, we thought it was going to be difficult, but it ended up being really amazing. And we really got to see our individual work and really got to hear everyone's story and how they got to their beadwork, how they got through their artwork. So I just wanted to say thank you, hi to all the graduates here today. Stay on your journey. Definitely link up with me anytime you want. We can talk, we can even meet, once a week or once a month, just to kind of get our head back in the game. And yeah, congratulations, we did it, 2020 COVID edition. We survived, we got out of there unscathed, and we stuck together. So, and that's what it's all about. COVID is all about coming together as an Indigenous people and sticking together to uplift each other. So I just wanted to say hi, tayo nuti, thank you very much. And my heart goes with you on your journey. Hi.
Woo!
We love you, Beanie.
We love you, Beanie. That's great. That's great.
Hi, Beanie. Yeah, awesome.
Thank you, Beanie. Are we going on to the next one here? The Christy Rose DeChambeau?
Yeah.
Please, thanks.
Hello, everybody. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to Elder Glenn Young Chief for the opening prayer. I'm Christy DeChambeau. I'm from Beaver Lake Cree Nation, but I do reside in Lac La Biche, Treaty 6. I am a mother of 3, so my interest in the program has been very interesting. The reality of it was 10 months ago. I entered the program as a beginner, not knowing very much. So everything was a first for me. It's been very interesting, but also very difficult, challenging. COVID does play a big part. I've suffered a great loss this past 10 months, and bereavement was very difficult. But through my art, as Jamie and Amber assured me, I would heal. And I found that in my art. So thank you both. Also, it comes from my children, the patience they had, the motivation, the support from my children, not only my children, but my mother. She went above and beyond for me to make sure she was here to encourage me. If I needed something, she was there to grab it for me. So I thank them as well. I had the privilege to experience different artists, their art forms, the reflections that we did because it was virtually done, right? We weren't in person. Sharing those people, sharing their art with me and getting to write about them. And it was very uplifting. For me, there was many times there were the challenges, I felt defeated, and like everything was done virtually. So I think Amber played a big part for me. Day or night, she was there to help me, even when it was midnight. And when I was messaging her saying, hey, I'm struggling. And so that played a big part for me. I couldn't have done it without my mentors. Amber and Jamie, you have supported me not only as an artist, but as an individual. And through my grievance stages, you were there. You were uplifting me through text messages and prayers. And so that was, I'm very humble for that. Thank you. the support and the motivation comes from everybody, and it makes your art what it is. Not only from my mother, but my kokum as well. She would always FaceTime me saying, "What are you working on?" And for them to be so excited to see this piece you're working on, it brings the excitement for you as well. And when you were done this piece and you get to share it with everybody, it's a feeling I can't express. I mean, it was good. For me, it was good, like the learning experience. So as the program was done virtually, I feel like my mentors, you guys were just awesome with this. You know, we couldn't be there in person, but even if we weren't, you guys were there through video to show us how to do all the outside stuff. And, you know, I look forward to maybe doing that in the future with you guys when COVID slows down a little bit. And I mean, I would take the drive just to spend the day with you guys. I would also like to thank the other graduates. You guys shared your art with me. You guys showed me there is no limit, and your art is beautiful, completely beautiful. And I would like to thank each of you who carry on this program. You have made me see it's always been there. It was just sleeping. So thank you.
That's great, Christy. Thanks a lot.
Woo! Awesome.
Awesome. So yeah, thank you everybody for your words, you know, the arts, and it is healing. It is, you know, you're showing a piece of who you are. You're showing your spirit. Sometimes that's scary because we're kind of getting down to that marrow of who we are as artists. So sometimes it's a little bit scary. Sometimes you go through those challenges, but that is what, you know, you create this piece. I used to always struggle all the time. And when I would make something and I'd be like, oh my God, you know, it was really that struggle, that journey. And in life, that's how it is in life. You know, we're going to go through these different challenges, these different, I mean, it's going to be a vibrancy of highs and lows. And it's really how you respond to that and how you are strengthened by it. So I really encourage each one of you, and you're always a part of us. You're a part of our group, Xpressions. You're a part of our lives, your family to us. So I just want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. And, you know, that's all I really want to say. And that's it.
Woo! That was Amber.
That's great.
Hey,
That's great.
Woo!
Thanks. I'd like to thank Jamie and Amber for walking us through the expressionists, I'll call them. Prior to us, Jamie, I'll just get a lead from you here. Prior to us going into the closing comments from Shirley, would you want me to thank all of these people that are marked on the agenda?
Yeah, sure.
Actually, Tribal Chiefs Employment and Training wishes to acknowledge the following for your continued commitment and support to the program. We'd like to thank, I gotta get my glasses on here, Alberta Labor, the Indigenous Partnerships Coordinator of the Workforce Initiatives North Region. We'd like to thank Pitaki Hill Productions, Amber Weaselhead and Jamie John Kihiwan. We'd like to thank Beaver Lake Cree Nation, Shirley Parody, Frog Lake First Nation, Brian Horst, Kihiwan Cree Nation, Phaedra Cardinal, St. Paul Urban Office, Darlene Belrose, and of course, Indigenous Tourism Alberta. Thank you all for your continued support. You may hear us, you may not, but notwithstanding, we'd like to thank you all for your contributions. Hi.
Hey, Glenn, thank you for that. And also just want to thank Amber for all of her awesome work, tireless efforts that she put into this year's programming. You know, we all had difficulties, challenges, ups and downs. We all suffered losses, you know, and especially Amber being, she lost her dad this past year, you know, 2020, you know, it's a tough year. And but I just want to let her know that, you know, truly appreciate you and all your efforts that you did for this program and for our artists, and wish to encourage you and, you know, wish you all the best. You know, it's been good. It's been a trying year, but nonetheless, it's a good learning curve. And We just want to let you all know that we truly appreciate each and every one of you. You know, Eva, John, glad you too as well. You know, thank you for all your support and all your efforts that you do out there for us. You know, for not only us but the 6 nations that we represent as well. You know, we truly appreciate all the work that you do. And thank you, Glenn, for agreeing to go along with us and being the MC. And thank you for your prayers and your songs and each and every one that had a part in this graduation. Hey, Kami, and
Tapwe.
first and foremost, Kutawi na Ganaskamo. Hey.
Thank you for that. Of course, I'd like to also thank the organization, Tribal Chiefs Employment and Training, the hard work that you all do. Also, I'm glad to be part of this. Part of the Expressionists, I'll say. It's been 3-4 years now that I've had the opportunity to introduce and sing and pray with you guys, and you know, I'd like to thank you all for the opportunities also. So with that, are we all prepared to go into the closing comments? Are there any closing comments from Eva and or anybody else?
Shirley Parody.
Shirley Parody, you are on. Hey, tell your sister Linda I said hello also, eh?
Good afternoon, everyone. I know everybody's probably hungry, but you know, firstly, I'd like to thank Creator for blessing us with another beautiful day. Regardless of the snow, I will graciously take it. I'd like to thank Elder Glenn for the opening prayer and for the beautiful song. Also to Gray Eagle for sharing the beautiful song. I know everybody's tired of hearing about COVID. Unfortunately, COVID is the new norm. Our graduation, I know I've been able to take part in the Xpressions grad now for 4 years. And we've always, you know, shared that day, whether it be in a hall setting or, you know, we able to share the hugs. Unfortunately, today we can't, and we have to learn to adjust with COVID's ways. It's the new norm. I keep hearing it's the new norm. I'm hoping that we go back to the original norm at some point. You know, and so with the Xpressions program, graduation now is on Zoom. And, you know, thank you so much to Amber and Jamie for continuing on with the class. I know everything's been virtual online. We've had to change ways. We had to ensure our students had laptops. We had to ensure their Wi-Fis were taken care of. So it was a lot of change this year in regards to the Xpressions program. But you know what, sitting here and watching the success and the beautiful art pieces and the testimonials here today is just showing us, you know what, regardless COVID or not, we still got this. So, you know what, thank you so much to Amber and Jamie for this. I always say the gift of Zoom and Teams is you can sit at anybody's table. You can sit anywhere you want to join in a Zoom meeting. And you know what? You can wear your pajama bottoms. As long as you have a dress top on, you're good to go. Sorry, I had to throw that in there. You know, with that, another year has come and gone, right? Another 10 months. Many difficult challenges and changes due to COVID, but yet also another big successful year. You know, for those who shared their testimonials today, it's always a gift to hear somebody's journey. You know, and I'd like to especially thank Eva John Glad, you're the program manager. When Eva has a vision, she shares it. And Eva always has remarkable visions. So thank you so much, Eva, for sharing your vision with all our nations. You know, all the ISETS managers who had to adjust, not only as ourselves individually, but adjust with our students because of the online learning and the COVID and, the different ways of teaching. Thank you all so much for taking the time and patience, with all of us. We're all learning. Tribal chiefs, you're always there, a phone call away, as I always say. And to all the chief and council of all the 6 bands, thank you so much for trusting in our people, trusting in our managers, and most importantly, trusting tribal chiefs for allowing this program to continue on. It's, I look back and I reflect on the past couple of years. It's always the poster coming out in the recruiting, which individuals would be successful at this program and which ones are shy that we can really bring out. And, this year we were able to bring in Christy and Joni from our nation. And, when I first asked, would you ladies like to take this program? The hesitancy was there, but also the excitement, you could see it. So what I do is I nag a little bit, I poke the bear a little bit, and I try, I guess in other words, sell ourselves. This program will be so good for you. You'll learn a lot. And you know what? Everybody's an artist. You just need a little helping hand to bring it out. And so, of course, I ended up with the 2. And you know what? Watching their work today is truly, truly remarkable. Like, wow, we all carry that hidden talent. Just sometimes we need that little helping hand to bring it out. So I'm so grateful for the program because it brings out our people. And I always say, you know what, especially to the students here today, thank you for taking the steps forward in the program and within yourselves. Most of all, thank you for sharing your work with us. Now, always be proud of where you come from. Watching your wall of art today, you are all truly, truly talented people. Share your work with the world. Always take pride in your work. Most importantly, take pride. We are all Indigenous people. We are the gift. May your journey going forward always reflect on where you came from. Always be humble and proud. And I am so proud of each and every one of you here today. You are really, really talented and gifted people. Ixa, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Shirley. Tell Linda I said hello. Or I'll call her myself.
Okay.
Thanks for that. Thanks for that. I'd like to thank everybody for having come on and do the virtual thing here. I know I'm still a little mixed up with it, but we all learn. We all learn how we starting to click buttons lots nowadays. With that, Jamie.
Aho, hi, kak, yo, each and every one that came on that was a part of this virtual graduation. I thank you, for your kind words and your insights and your knowledge and everything that you shared with us, Kayla, Mackenzie, Eva, different ones that had a hand in this graduation and making it a successful, this is our first virtual graduation. So I kind of think that it went really well. Almost made me cry. Hey. But thank you, our MC for coming on and helping us out. Everyone had a good hand in it. So, but with that, I want to wish each and every one of you, our
Jamie.
Yeah.
We'll do a closing prayer.
Yes, we'll do that. We'll do that. And then, but first, I just want to mention, wish you guys all the best and encourage you in your future endeavors and your journeys. And, may our Creator guide you, watch over you, and keep you safe, healthy, and happy for a long earthly life that you're gonna walk and make us all proud. So, and you represent us and our families and our nation. So, and thank you to the parents, that came on, and the partners, and all the families, and each and every one. So, hi. But I want to do everybody unmute and all of us the sagwe for each other.
Oh.
In 3,
All right.
1. All right, Glenn, the floor is yours. Hi.
Hey, Tapwe. What I'll do is I'll say a closing prayer, and then I'll hit the leave button. I'll call you after, Eva. With that, Tapwe maga mamohtawi mo. Hagap mispitsigi sagago naraskum.
All right, so with that, thank you. Wish you all a wonderful, happy day. Celebrate in a good way, enjoy each other. Hi. Peace.
Congratulations, graduate.
And feel free to reach out to us whenever you want.
Where is he? I never even
Hey,
saw
guys.
him.
You guys.
I
Have a good
didn't
day,
see
everybody.
him.
Bye, Rosie.
I saw him for a second.
Bye,
Oh, there he is. He waved.
All right, get off here, you guys. Hey. Love you guys.
Love you.
Thanks for everything.
Yes, of course.
Oh, someone fell down there.
Keep in touch.
Yes.
Puppy.
All right.